Welcome to this channel. So in the past few days, I have a lot of discussions with many of our traditional Chinese martial art friends worldwide. And many of these friends do not understand that the handling of impulse momentum is the basic or the bottom line of traditional Chinese martial arts. So even I try to explain, many do not get it. Why they don't get it? Because in their mind, their mindset is about techniques. These techniques can counter that techniques. I'm going to use this technique to attack those kind of stuff. Those are technique based. And some of our friend is internal based. I can do the sinking my chi and I can do fudging when he come, when he attack me. And I can attack him with my yi, those kind of stuff. Well, so today I would like to share with you those so-called techniques, hand techniques, based type of art is never a traditional Chinese martial arts. Also those fudging, fa qi, using yi is never a real traditional Chinese martial arts. See, traditional Chinese martial art has to fulfill the bottom line, the basic of the world martial art or the human beings martial arts. It cannot be techniques. This technique counter that technique. This techniques is going to attack that techniques. Or I have this chi, those kind of stuff. So to illustrate that, we like it or not, combat is about running into each other, striking each other. So we like it or not, make it simple model, it's like car. We move the car at the high speed, crash into somebody or somebody's car. Or we just playing with the car, seeing that how one car crash into the other car. Those are combat. Okay. Now, so if we want to drive a car and crash into the other car, then we need to know how to move this car. Well, moving this car is the mass of the car multiplied by the speed of the car. That is momentum. Mass multiplied by the velocity. And then when this car crashes into the other car, there's a change of momentum, there's impulse. So the martial art is a physical game, it is an impulse momentum game. So one, do the very basic, need to be able to play with the impulse momentum. Now, martial art even go further than that. One, do not need to fight, do not need to combat, do not need to get violence. But one need to know what is the impulse momentum. Such as one face a tiger, one run away. So if we don't want to fight, we know that situation, we know those type of impulse momentum, we just walk away. That is a part of Chinese martial art education. It's not like to train people to fight, fight, fight. So knowing impulse momentum itself is an education. It's not to promote fighting or violence, to know, hey, this is what it is. It's like a car. We are not going to go doing cornering at 200 miles per hour. We know we're going to tip, we're going to flip over. So this is a science. This is not about the violence or who is better fighter than who. Now, when the techniques do not address this impulse momentum, the qi, the mind, do not address this impulse momentum. It's like one talking about racing car but have no idea what is a car and how to get up to the highway. That's how serious it is. So, in order to move the car, which is the analogy, get it back to this body. In order to move this body, mass multiplied by velocity, and then be able to handle the crush, which is the impulse, it can be modeled slowly this way. If I want to move myself up, okay, just say like doing a striking. You see, I have to drive the entire body up. I cannot be standing like that. You don't have that power, and you don't have that momentum. If you're standing like that, just barely try to push this thing. Okay? Now, so if we want to really drive the car in the speed of, like, say, driving in the highway, then you have to go to this. You have to have all the force, the strength, the power to drive this body forward. Those are the really, really minimum. Now, the red ball training band, when you move forward, we are actually practicing that, training that, so that our entire body can drive out. So, if we have never have this drive out, in the real life, we will never know how to respond. We can keep thinking techniques or qi, but when somebody rush into us, we have no idea how to handle this body. Such as I just showed you. How to handle this. How to exert the force out. How to thrust the entire thing out, the body out. So, unless one train one's body this way, one couldn't even be able to move. And we don't even talk, always have to fight. We say that, oh, if that is coming, I don't want to fight you, I'm going to run. If I'm to run, I have to know how to move my body away to avoid the confrontations. So impulse momentum is the bottom line. The body is not conditioned this way to be able to handle it. There's no martial art. Let's not kidding ourselves. And not to mention, in the using of the martial arts, or the driving of the body, if I drive this out, that momentum is there already. I cannot drive, stop, drive, stop. I'll be too late in the combat, or too late to walk away. So that's why you need the recycling momentum. It's like, I can turn my body and reuse the momentum to do the second spin, as I just showed you. Same thing. I do the different spin. Without stop down, I cannot. Start, stop, start, stop. You don't do those. Again, it's like in racing car. You don't stop, start, stop, start, stop. You have to be able to make use of the momentum. So this is the bottom line. If we don't have this training, we don't know the reality of what is combat. We never really train with it. So that's why many critics is like, oh, Chinese Kung Fu, you practice this technique, that techniques, this Qi, that Qi, but when you go to sparring, you just go hitting randomly, or you're just using Western boxing. Well, that's the problem, because you never really train the impulse momentum of that particular style. So this is that simple. The issue is that for past 100 years or so, everybody is in the technique base, in the internal Qi base, which is really off-topic stuff if you want to talk about traditional Chinese martial arts. So this is to share with you today.